All right, we are down in South Florida. It's about 110 degrees, at least it feels that way. And if you guys have the E450 chassis, which a lot of RVs do have, you know, the 4 chassis, but if you're running into a problem like I just discovered this morning in our coach, is when we turned the air conditioning on, we were only getting air through the defrost. Okay, so the selector wasn't working. If it doesn't work at all and it's just coming up through the defrost, you're still getting air conditioning, I'm going to give you guys a quick fix on how you're going to do that. Bottom line is you have a vacuum leak. And if you look behind the fill right here on our particular coach and you pull this out a little bit, you're going to get a red line right here. And that's your vacuum line that's going to your AC. So what I did is I pulled it apart right here to make sure I had vacuum with the engine running, and I did have vacuum. So what I've been reading is Ford has an issue with the vacuum line that runs right down here behind your washer. Let me get the other piece. This is the original line right here. This is a temporary line because I wanted to make sure that that was the issue, which it was. And this connected to here and ran underneath here. I'm behind all this stuff, and way back behind the firewall, the fender, and it cost a lot of money for Ford to repair this. So if you could do it yourself, and I can show you how to do it yourself. So basically what I did is there's a T with a canister behind there, which you can't get to. It's behind the firewall. So what happens is that little piece of rubber dry rots and then creates a vacuum leak. So what you have to do is, since you can't get to that part and it costs a lot of money to fix, I basically took this piece out. And I've noticed some people online, if you look, they have the same issues, and they try to get a string in the firewall area before pulling this out. They attach a string to the end so they got something to feed back a new one, which in my case, when I'll show you in a second, when I took the grommet off the inside part, it just fell apart, and I knew it the minute I felt it was really loose. So I got lucky and got some mechanics wire, went in through the firewall, and had the perfect bend on it to where I came up and grabbed it with my needle nose pliers. Thank you, Jolly. And I know they're old, and grabbed the wire and was able to pull it out. So when I put my new vacuum line on, I'll be able to fish it back down where it was, and we'll be good to go. But before I did all this stuff, I went ahead and ran a separate line, which is right here. Okay, and let's go on inside. Okay. And the line comes down. This is just temporary because I wanted to test it. So the line comes down. I had it plugged right to this one right here, where it came out of the firewall and up into the dash. Okay, and once I did that, it worked perfectly. Everything worked fine. So to me, that's a quick, easy fix for you guys. If you look, right there is the grommet, and right back there is where it comes out of the firewall. And you can notice right there that you can't pull that back through here with that T and canister on the back side of that. There's absolutely no way to get to it. They would probably have to, you know, pull the evaporator out. They would have to do a lot of work. I think it's like 7 or 8 hours their time to do it, and it's going to be a lot of money. So I hope this video helps somebody. I'm going to rerun new vacuum line right where that firewall is, because as you can see, my wire that I fished up there, I got lucky on that, and I'm going to rerun it to where it looks back to factory, but we're going to bypass the old one. Okay, I went to the parts store and got me some vacuum line. Always get a little bit more than what you need. It's fairly cheap. This only cost me $2, so if this works, it's a $2 fix and you're ready to go. So I'm going to take my wire right here and I'm going to run this right inside the wire. Be safe and sorry, because you don't want to lose it. So there it is, taped off. And I should just be able to run it through, hopefully. So I'm going to feed this back under again. right here. Alright, so I just put a new vacuum connector on. This was the old one right here, but seeing that
Where's the old one?
This is the old one. But seeing that they gave me a smaller tube than what was originally, well, it didn't seem smaller. It seemed like the same size, but it wasn't fitting over this. So I put a new connector here. And as you can see, that's on pretty good. And I'll go ahead and put all this up. Maybe I'll tie wrap it or something. But it's feeding it right down here. Right down into the cab, and I'll tie it up nice and neat as soon as I'm done here. So let's go on inside. Right there is the end of my line right there with the cable, and as you can see, it came right through the firewall. Right there through the firewall, it's coming, and I'm gonna go ahead and undo it from there, and it's gonna connect right here to this, and we should be good to go. I'll show you in a second. Since I can't do it both at the same time, let me put it together and then I'll come back to you. Here is my new line I just put in. Now I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. That rubber band I think was from the factory because it was holding both lines up, but I got a little bit of extra line just to be safe and sorry. You don't want to go short on it. It's real cheap line, so when you get it from the auto parts store, so do yourself a favor, get an extra foot or something than you need just in case. I'm going to tighten this up and it's going to look factory when I'm done. Also want you to pay attention to that grommet back there, and that is the factory grommet, and I disconnected everything that was attached to that and ran my wire just like factory right through the firewall there with that grommet. So you will never know, you know, it's the factory grommet, so you'll never know that I even messed with it or anything. It looks, not that it matters under the dash, but I try to do the best I can to make it look clean and as factory as I can make it. So there you go with that. So let's do a quick test for you guys and see how it works. Let's get a little piece of paper. As you can see, it's blowing, working good. So let's go on over to the dash here. Okay, and let's switch it to floor. Okay, that's switched to floor. Let's go on over to the floor and make sure first to the vent. If you see any wind blowing, that's because the door's open, but you can tell the difference. There's no air coming out of that whatsoever. Okay, so let's go to the floor. And it's blowing out the floor. All right, let's switch it back to the dash. Come on over here, let's hit it to dash. And we're going to come over here and test it. And there you go. Okay, so if you guys want to spend $2 instead of thousands on this vacuum leak fix, I hope this helps you one way or the other, making that decision on what you want to do. Okay, there you have it. There's your RV fix AC vacuum leak, and I hope this helps somebody else. Just a disclaimer, work on it at your own risk. I assume no responsibility, but just a tip to hopefully help you guys out and save you thousands of dollars. And for $2.80, I'd say this is a successful repair, and I'm glad to have AC at the dash again. So until next time, guys, remember, smiles are free, and so is this RV tip. Take care, we'll see you next time.